You are hiding parts of yourself in your life, in your work, maybe in your personal life, maybe even as a content creator. And it's not because you want to, it's because you believe you have to, because society has told us that you have to have all the answers in a professional setting, or you have to show up being this filtered version of yourself so you don't rock the boat or make someone mad. But what if I told you the complete opposite is true? And actually, the people right now that are showing up authentically in their business settings, in their life, and even as content creators, they're the ones that are getting all the opportunities. They're the ones where doors are opening because people want you to be authentic. So if you are tired of hiding yourself and filtering yourself and being afraid to take actions or put content up or whatever, then this video is for you. So let's go ahead and jump into it. You are in a trap, my friends, whether you feel like it or not. If you're filtering yourself and not feeling like you can show up authentically, you are in the trap. Today, we are talking about how you can break the perfection trap. It is crippling you from being able to actually show up in this authentic and fluid way that's going to make everything better. So I'm going to talk about this process over 3 points here in just a moment. Before we jump into the perfection trap, let me tell you the reason I'm making this video, and there's 2 of them. The first one is for you, my lovely viewer. Because as I shared in the beginning, I want you to break this perfection trap, and you are here for a reason. And I'm going to share with you in real time 3 aspects that I have been embodying myself that I think is going to help you today start to break free from the perfection trap. So the first one is I want to give you massive value. But second, it's for me, and that's driving the value I'm giving you. Because last week I had a major epiphany. Because I was having friction making content. I was feeling not excited. I would sit down at this camera and I would try to make videos and they felt icky to me and I wasn't excited about them and I just was frustrated. And by way of looking back at some of my old content and talking to people that watch my channel that I really trust, we realized that the content where I showed up sharing real-time information, unscripted content, and real life talk, those are the videos that have done better. Those are the ones where people reach out to me and have wanted to work together. Those are the ones that have triggered some of you to actually ask me more deeper questions. Those are achieving the purpose of this channel better than the ones that I spent more time on, scripting and polishing and adding B-roll and adding movie clips in. Not to say I don't love a great, beautiful edited video, but the message is I was having friction and it was burning me out and making me not want to show up to be consistent in what I created here. So I had this epiphany and I realized that I am 100% now leaning into what I'm calling in the process content or the journey content, if you will, where I'm going to share with you real time what is happening because I think it's going to be more valuable for you. It's going to give me the opportunity to share things that are faster, less scripted. And also I plan to do that across my other platforms as well. So if you follow me on Instagram, it's a good time to do that if you aren't, or even if you're in the professional world and you're on LinkedIn, I love LinkedIn, follow me there too. I'm going to start sharing real-time stuff there because that content works better. And you know what else? More than that, it feels good to me. And I'm going to break that down a bit in what I'm going to talk about today. But that's the reason I wanted to make this video, because I wanted to tell you that and announce that you're going to see some shifts in the content, and I think it's going to be really great. But let me know in the comments how you're feeling about that and if you're excited about it or if you want any more specifics or hear about more things that are happening in real time. But without further ado, let's go into breaking the perfection trap. So I told you we're going to cover it over 3 points, so I'm not going to delay any longer. Number 1, the cost of being stuck in this perfection trap. That is what I want to start with because that is the most important. So a couple things happen that as a product of trying to live in this sense of perfection. Like I queued up in the beginning of the video, when we are showing up with this mask on or this veneer that maybe we forgot we had on, it is causing us to literally hide parts of ourselves, but in a deeper way than what I think you may be realizing. So let's draw here. Number 1, you are hidden. Sit with this for a second, because there are parts of you that didn't make the cut that is either like not part of your professional costume that you're wearing, or if you're doing content creation, maybe you've decided you're not going to delve into those types of topics. And I think that is unfortunate because the parts of you that are hidden, there are secret gems in there that you probably want to get out as well. These are not things that are necessarily, as I'll talk about in a moment, your deepest, darkest secrets. We're not talking about pulling those out today. Maybe you want to at some point. I'm talking about the stuff that you just felt was off brand, or was going to make you look less respectful, or was going to make people judge you, or you feared they were going to judge you. It's things like that. And the unfortunate part is when you hide parts of yourself, this subconscious thing happens that you may not even be realizing. It is making you start to question whether that stuff is even valuable anymore because you haven't entertained it. It's a part of you, like, for example, if you love to laugh and you're scared that you haven't been able to bring laughter to your professional setting, or I've even heard this in people's personal lives. They're in relationships where they're not allowed to be fun because they're with a serious partner, or they're with us in a serious, I lived in DC for many years, it's a serious city. Laughing in a meeting was kind of frowned upon. That's social dynamics at play. But guess what? It started, even in those examples, it started to make me feel like, does that mean the funny side of me is like not relevant anymore? Like, will he ever show up again? Like, what's that look like? And so there's a very, very fine line between us playing the part and starting to diminish parts of ourselves. We do not want that, because in your pursuit of being something awesome, you only get one chance on this earth, at least in this life. I don't know, we don't have to get into afterlife, but we know right now we can deal with this, and we know we're all going to die. So I'm talking about what we can do in this container. You got one chance. I don't want you to be hidden the whole time. So let's get that in our heads right now. That is a big piece of this. So I'm looking at my notes over here. In the spirit of non-perfection, I just threw these down and wanted to get them out to you. It limits your growth. So let's write this down. Limits growth. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in one of the other points as well. But what it does is, because we're not sharing parts of ourselves that feel a bit uncomfortable, or parts of us that maybe we're scared to let out because we're scared of that judgment, it may feel good to hide that part of us away, but we're missing a learning opportunity to grow in our social world, in the dynamics of our social, the fabric of our social lives. It's just taking away opportunities for us to try and test that vulnerability. And that's unfortunate. And it can create a very flat version of you that becomes very routine, but that's the very person that I've talked about in other videos, that sometimes people come to me in this community and they're like, I just feel dead inside. Like I'm not fun, nothing's exciting, because you've been limiting your growth and you've been hidden. Of course, I've been there too. Why would we want to, where's the excitement? That's the cost of this, either self-imposed perfection or society imposed perfection. And then there is a mental cost. Let me put this up here. Let's put mental cost. There is a mental cost to manufacturing a persona or a vibe. And it becomes very taxing, because when you wake up in the morning and you're like, I have to put on this mask or this persona, it may start to become routine to you, but you're managing a different side of yourself. It's like something that's just forced upon you that really you maybe have gotten used to, but it's not necessary. And in fact, that mental burden that you're carrying can be this low-grade anxiety, or manifest as a low-grade anxiety that you just don't need in your life. If you watch the amazingly successful series Severance on Apple TV, I'm not going to spoil this for you, but it's a premise of that. The whole point of the severance process is for people to forget what they did at work. Like they've literally separated the mask, if you will. So they don't even know. They know the mask exists, but they don't have to manage the mask. It's an interesting concept, and that's what we're doing here in real life, where we have two different sides of ourselves. So I know this may sound extreme, but this is happening in your life. And in some cases, for me, it happened more than others. Like when I first got started off in my career and I was coming up the ranks as a creative director, I had all kinds of perfectionistic rules placed upon me that I took from around me and then made them even more, because I was afraid of judgment. I was afraid of breaking what I had. I was afraid of breaking success. This cost is dark. This is a lot of stuff that we don't want to stay in over here. One of the biggest costs is it's robbing us of real connections, because we're interacting with people in our business and personal lives, but when we don't have that ability to show up as our authentic selves, or we're keeping parts of us away, our passions, our hobbies, parts of our lives we don't want to share, dreams or visions we have, they're not able to connect with us in real life. And I'm going to talk a bit more in the next point about what the beauty is of that, I've almost revealed the next one. I'm going to talk about the beauty of that when the real connections do happen. So without further ado, let's go to the next one. The advantage. So the advantage is really the advantage of authenticity, or the advantage of breaking the perfection trap to get to authenticity. And one of the biggest ones is that people can see more of you. They can see parts of you that humanize you, number one, and also it gives more opportunities for people. And this is true in content creation, like one way like this, or in real life where it's a dialogue. It gives them more opportunities to see you and build a connection with you. Trust is the most important thing that makes the business world work. It makes people watch our videos. It makes the entire world go round. We want to trust people and feel connected with them. That is what makes this work. When we show more of ourselves, it's actually better, not worse. And I'm going to talk about here in a moment, because you may already be freaking out. Well, I don't want to show everything about myself. I got a solution for you here in the end when we talk about actually how to implement this. So hang with me. They get to see more of you. And the beauty of that is I want to give you an example. So, I mentioned these videos that I also run a boutique branding agency called Hey Joey Studio, because my background is in brand development, creative strategy, and I work with more professional level clients, corporate clients in some cases. So, we're in offices, and there's some that have larger teams. And there is this kind of feeling that there's a professionalism that's up where you don't want to break that, the mold too much. And there is that feeling of, do I need to wear a mask? Well, I've started to relax that a lot more going in. And actually now, of course, because I run the business and I'm the CEO of the business, I can actually make decisions to set the tone at the beginning of the process that they're going to get more of an authentic version of me. So I already set that up out the gate. But what's interesting is, in some of the situations, I started talking more recently about my music passions. I've talked about this in other videos. I'm surrounded by keyboards and guitars, digital music. It's a passion of mine, but it's one that I'm not getting to. You're going to hear more about that in some of the new upcoming videos, by the way. But I haven't been doing it. And it's a tension, and it's a real life, real world experience. Well, you know what? I've started telling people that. Clients, prospects, people from the Could Be Something Awesome community that meet with me on video, they all talk about my mic. They talk about the equipment. And I say, you know what? Like, I'm trying to learn guitar and I haven't done it. That humanizes me. And also it brought up one of my buddies from one of my mindset communities. You know who you are if you're watching. We started talking about vocal lessons. We both were doing vocal lessons, and kind of both, I think, not wanting to bring it up. Like, I know I was feeling kind of weird about bringing it up, because I was like, well, I'm not really a vocalist yet, but maybe I am. And I'm kind of like, it feels icky. Brought it up. And now that fused our interests even more, where that's a huge talking point for the two of us. And that stuff happens in business and content creation as well. So share more of you, not less, because it's just going to bring people to you, and it's going to lean to what the other big value is. It's going to make you more magnetic. I have a video about how to woo people that I'll link in the description that I made last summer about how to be magnetic. So it'll build very well on this video. Humans connect with other humans. That is what we want to do. And magnetism comes from when you show up as your authentic self. I've been talking about this for years. It's what makes people really great at sales. It's what makes public speaking really good. It's what makes, I'm going to get to this here in just a second. It's what makes content creators really good. It's this magnetism that can only happen when people can tell that you're not a poser, that you're not, just showing one part of you, or wearing a mask, or running off of a script, but they can see behind that person and see through to you and know that you're actually showing up authentically. That's what I'm talking about here. And you may know this. Like, have you ever thought about those people that you may have worked with before, where you just think they're fake? They don't seem real. And you know what? Those people probably don't want to come across as fake. They're probably just afraid to break this perfectionism. They don't want you to see inside. They're scared to death of who's underneath there. And they're scared probably of judgment from you as well. And that's unfortunate. But you don't have to be that way. That's why you're on this video. And you are magnetic. It's in you, and you will show up and draw magnetism towards you when you show up authentically. I've seen it in my life, and I've seen it with people I've worked with. that become content creators to get comfortable on camera and all those things. So it's a huge topic, and I think it's very important as part of the advantage. And one more piece that's just true in general before I get to the very current advantage, which is this idea that it helps you process things. So it helps you process. So what I mean by this is that you can only learn and grow from things like I talked about over here when you're actually naming them and putting words to them and getting it out of this loop in your head and into real life. That's the beauty of therapy. If you go to therapy, that's the beauty of the idea of saying something, and people that talk about the power of an apology. It's the words, it's the power of us saying something and bringing another human into that experience. It materializes it and takes it out of this loop that's up here, because it's very, very taxing for it to stay up here. But what happens is when you say something like me earlier, like I'm working with a vocal coach, but I'm not sure how it's going to go. That humanized me. And also it gave room that I don't have to finish it. I don't have to like it. It doesn't have to work, but I can tell you right now that I'm seeing the coach. And what it did is it helped me internalize it and say, I am a person that's working with a vocal coach. I am a person that's pursuing music. And then it gave me room to build on that. Sorry, I keep hitting this mic. It gives me room to build on that. You can't process things that you don't create milestones for. So let me just draw this here. It's kind of like you create a milestone. This is like a list of things, and you say something here, and then you tell someone else about it. You say more, and then it just keeps building here. And then it creates a real life way for you to process your results. That does not happen when you just filter all that part of you off and never talk about it because you're not putting words to it. That is very valuable. And you know what? Another thing that just came to me that I'm going to share with you is this gives you an opportunity also to connect with people in real life. I've opened up opportunities from talking about these things in the music space. That's happened in the business space where I've said, you know what, I'm thinking of doing this, or I'm worried about that. And people are like, no, you should do more of that. Don't be worried. Or, oh, I have a friend that wants the service you're offering, or whatever. Like, this stuff's great when you put words to it. The advantage of being you, 100. But final piece. So right now, at the time of making this video, the content creation world, the business world is craving authenticity. With the advent of AI, faceless channels on YouTube, AI generated content on LinkedIn, just a lot of inundation of things. You consume it as well. It's tiring. It's like, we want something real. This is not an AI version of me. This is a real me. This is a real keyboard behind me. Nothing's fake in this setup. The same thing for scripted videos. I've done scripted videos on this channel, and it doesn't mean I'll never not do a scripted video or an intro or whatever, because sometimes you need that to get a point across quickly. But veering away from that to a place of showing up like I am now, where this is coming to you live, and you can see the bumps and starts and the thought process as it's happening. I have struggled to share that with you, the audience, sometimes, because I like a really good polished video. But you know what? It feels better to show up like this, because now you're getting real life things. Like I just shared with you this thing that came to me on the fly now. It's real, and you're getting the real time thing. But that is also what everyone else wants. And the YouTubers that are succeeding right now are making this kind of content. On Instagram, people want just you talking to camera, natural things, real life journey. Show me the process. Don't just show the end result. Don't just show me a splashy edited video. People want depth and authenticity. I'm seeing it from people around me in my YouTube communities as well. I can't take credit for all this. I've been told by a lot of them, you know, do more of this content. They watched my authentic videos that I've shot in the past. They're better than, and they're performing better than the ones that are scripted. You get the idea. It's just the nature of the world is changing, and I want you to be on board with that. And it's a great thing for you if you're currently sitting here saying, I can't break this trap. I'm scared to get out of it. I'm scared to be myself in business, and I'm scared to show up on YouTube or LinkedIn or Instagram as the real me versus the filtered me. Now is the time, because that is what people want. They want the real you to show up, and they want the journey. Even on LinkedIn, I know a lot of you are probably on LinkedIn because a lot of you viewers work in corporate jobs, I know, and other things. LinkedIn is that way too. It's not just YouTube. People are writing very personal posts on there. And in fact, they're performing better even in the past 2 to 3 weeks, I've posted different kinds of content. Those posts where I've posted about the journey and not wanting to make videos and feeling very burnt out, those have done way better and gotten more engagement than the posts just about my profession and about practical tips about branding. Those did okay. The other ones did better. So that's just all a bunch of data that's telling you that right now is the time that you can show up with such a low barrier to entry in creating content and starting up a new business. It's amazing. So that is your advantage. If nothing else, authenticity is what everyone wants right now. And now's your time to do it. And that leads to our third one. But before I do that, I want you to jump into the comments and tell me if this is resonating. Tell me if you're excited about the video changes I told you about earlier. And also, in the spirit of authenticity, tell me where you are in this process so other people on the channel can see you as well. Because as I mentioned about the community, we become magnetic when we share what's going on. So I expect to see you in the comments. But let's go to the third one because I want to give you the complete story. The last one is the shift. So this is the process of actually doing this. You were on this video today for a reason. You were here to break this perfection trap and to show up authentic. And I'm going to give you my breaking point of why I got there so that you can find that within yourself as well, and then some steps to get there. So last week I mentioned to you that I had that feeling of friction making these videos, and I started to realize that I was going against my natural flow, my natural design of how I'm meant to show up in the world. And in turn, I'm holding that back from people, and I'm not showing up as the authentic version of me. And I am limiting growth, and I'm kind of creating this own nightmare for myself of the trap just because I have this belief that I have to share things when they're done. Shifting that view, that was the shift for me. And now I'm taking my own medicine. I'm doing on this video what I told you to do is to say something. I just told you on this video that I'm committing to sharing this journey with you. I believe it's going to be exciting and better, and I think you are going to benefit from it as well. But that's me putting words to it. And also I'm sharing the journey with you. I don't know how it's going to go. It's probably going to feel icky at sometimes. Some of the videos are probably not going to feel like what I want them to feel like, but you know what? I'm breaking and chipping away at this perfectionism live with you. But let me give you some tools for where you are right now in this process, because breaking this perfection trap isn't something that's going to feel comfortable in the beginning. And I want to actually draw a thing here for you. I'm going to draw these little lines here. You're going to think of this as a timeline. And over here is going to be perfect. And this is going to be authenticity or authentic. So I'm not asking you to jump from here to here tomorrow. That's not what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking to look at these first few micro steps here and figure out what is something small that you can do to go from perfectionism or this mask that you've created or a set of rules that has told you can't do something else. Break the cycle. How can we break the cycle? Let me tell you some small things that could be true for you that are micro steps. So let's say, like I use the concept of the vocal coach, for example. That was something that felt icky for me. Why did it feel icky? Because I don't know how it's going to go. And it's like, well, I want to save face. Like, I don't want to talk about it and then it not happen. And I don't want to like not make music and then be like, oh, I kind of look like someone that doesn't like honor their commitments, or just embarrassing is kind of what I was afraid of. There's all these like limiting beliefs going on in my head. And in turn, I decided to share that. And I decided to share honestly with clients and people that I meet with on Zoom. When they comment on my music, I tell all of them now, yeah, I'm in the journey of it. But you know what? I'm fighting myself, and I'm fighting perfectionism. And all the same themes come up about music, and I share that with people. Those are micro steps that is moving me along the journey to where authenticity for me is going to be actually making the music and showing up and showing you that journey. But I'm not even there yet now in this journey because it feels overwhelming to me, because I'm also learning in the process as well, and I'm growing. So there's a fear of sharing the growth process as well. But that also is helpful for people because we're all on a journey together, and this pursuit of being something awesome is a journey. And so let's own it. Let's own the journey and understand that we're growing along the journey. Let's bring this word grow over here. We're growing, and also we're growing in our comfort level of moving from perfectionism to authenticity. So we're growing in what we're learning, and we're also growing in how we're speaking about it. That's step number one. Don't feel like you have to jump over here tomorrow and make a YouTube video about your deepest, darkest secrets. But if you do that, let me know so that I can go support it and watch it. But you don't have to do that today. I just want you to do a micro step. Talk about something in your work or in a corporate setting that just feels a little bit uncomfortable. Share a hobby. Share something you're scared about that feels comfortable enough to share. Just take a little bit of a risk, but you don't have to jump completely off the deep end. And I want to also show you here, I know this is crazy and a mess. My chalkboards are always like full of value, but they're messy. So here I want to give you 3 levels. And so this might be, I'm going to call this like a light topic, mid, and then this is your deepest, darkest secrets. Okay. You don't have to jump to 3. And you may never share your deepest, darkest secrets in your YouTube video. That's fine. But I want to create a spectrum here for us to think about it. Pick something for these micro steps that are in this light category, or you could dip into the mid a little bit if it's something that's a little bit uncomfortable with you. But there are things that you could cluster in these areas that are going to give you ways to stretch yourself and share more about yourself without kind of going all the way to number 3 and giving everything away and feeling like you've sort of opened your house up for everyone to come in and explore and see everything. That's overwhelming. So I want to give you that permission, because I know a lot of mindset people will be like, just go and take a big risk and just kind of be out with everything. And I think that sometimes can be overwhelming for people and shut us down. And I don't want that to happen for you. I want you to see the value of authenticity and go into it. And I'm speaking about this in 2 camps. I'm speaking about this really in your business life probably, and also in your content creation life. But I realize some of you may not be making content yet, and that's fine, but it works in both categories. So I want to give you just these 2 simple micro steps to really think about how to show up authentically and knowing what you want to share and don't want to share. So you can think about what that looks like for you to be a bit more authentic today, tomorrow, over the next couple weeks. And also picking an area where you feel comfortable sharing the journey with someone else, whether that's in real life, in your business world, in your personal life, or through content creation, if you're doing that, which is similar, but it has a little bit of a different layer because you're not interacting directly with the person in feedback. It's a one-way communication. But I want you to pick that area where you feel comfortable with and let me know how it goes. Jump in the comments and let me know what area you might be thinking about. How does this resonate? What you might be struggling with, all those kinds of things, because in the spirit of being authentic, it would be great to share that in the comments so other people can see it as well. But I believe you've seen very clearly the advantage, because you are stuck in this perfection trap today and it is only going to get worse. Life is too short. The cost is too great. You have valuable things to bring to the table. And I know they are being hidden by things that society or you are projecting yourselves, and it's time to let it go. It's time to just let it go and show up and share more of you with us, because that's where the magic happens. That's where the magnetism happens. So I've made this very clear. I think you see the value and benefits of this, and I wanted to give you some small steps to get there. And one more thing I wanted to tell you about, as part of this content shift that I told you about earlier, I'm opening up the opportunity to work with some people one-on-one to help you identify these loops or these limiting beliefs that are keeping you from creating that thing you want to make. You're awesome, whether that's leaving your job to start a business or create a passion business, turn your hobby into a business, or become a content creator, or all of the above. We'll work on that together, identify the blocks, get you moving to create a plan for that, and then I'll handhold you all the way through packaging that and getting that ready to go to market so that your authentic voice is showing up, that your brand is being presented in the right way. So I'm very excited about working with you in that container, because it's going to be the fastest way to get you from where you are now, moving through these perfectionism traps and all those things, getting to actually where you've built the thing that you know you want to build. So I'm excited about that. If that's you, you can jump into the description. There's a way to apply there. It's going to ask you some questions to make sure it's a good fit. And if it is, it's going to give you the chance to book a call with me directly. We'll talk about your situation. There's obviously no obligation to work together, but I can tell you more about it, hear more about you, and I'd love the chance to get a chance to work with you to help you turn your thing, your idea, into something real. So I'm excited about that. And go ahead and jump in the comments. Let me know how this video resonated with you. And you can jump over to this next video where I talk more about breaking those loops and those limiting beliefs. Thanks again for watching. I know your time's valuable and I really appreciate it. So I'll see you in that next video. Later.